Hey everybody, happy Thursday. It is week 32, time for our week 32 design reveal. And I'm excited to make a bolo style necklace for you today. We are going to use gunmetal finish metal in our design. We're also going to use some burgundy color, and we're going to use some head pins. And it will be inspired by chili peppers. And I will say, you know, often you never know what's going to be the most challenge in your cards. And the head pins actually were the most challenge in my cards. So, and it's just because this design that I'm going to do does not, you know, it doesn't want to use head pins necessarily. But we're gonna make it work. So in case you're unfamiliar with the bolo, I showed you last week. This bolo tie. This particular one, it's got a clip on there that holds it on. This one's on a cord. Whereas normally, you know, there's specific leather, but this does have the cord ends that are sold, you know, with bolo ties in mind. And this is just a fun one that you can wear as a necklace, and you do see women wearing bolo ties as necklaces. In fact, I have one. I have a couple that my mom owned. So this one is done on the leather, so it's the braided leather that you would normally see. This one's got a lovely handmade Southwest inlaid piece here. It's also got the clips, but it's got, you know, guides for that. And it's got the end caps, which obviously need polishing because they're obviously silver. So anyways, this is a bolo tie that you can wear as a necklace, you know, and you can adjust the height. And it's a great way to layer your pieces. So I'm going to wear that one today. But if you're thinking more of a necklace than a tie, which is what we're working on today, I do have a couple examples of that as well. So this one, I have this nice bunny bead. So it's one of my Easter designs. This is a great bead from Tammy Kerber over at T Beads. She makes the cutest little holiday beads. I love them. And so this one, so it's held on here. I have one of those sliding spacers, but I use them as considered a clasp sort of sometimes. So I have this one, happens to have two holes, so I have one piece of leather. This is 1.5 meter leather going through each of the pieces, and then you just have two dangles. And the nice thing is you can adjust them to different sizes or lengths, depending on, you know, how you feel like wearing this. And you can, you know, move this up the leather wherever you want, make it as tight on your neck, depending on your neckline of your shirt you're wearing, which is why this is a great style. I mean, it's similar to the lasso style necklaces also, you know, are very adjustable depending on how you've designed them, right? And then the last example I want to show you, this one was made with chain. It's a 1 millimeter or 1.5 millimeter chain. This is a Candy Cooper influence design, so I did buy the chain and the end caps through her. But again, we're using one of these sliding clasps with the rubber in the middle, and we got the two pieces of chain through there. Hey Lorraine, thanks for joining me. I'm just going over showing some examples of bolo style so that people know. And on this one, you know, so I just used some big hole beads, put them on there, and I can slide them up and down because I have this slider that'll hold it in place. And then I have two dangles that, you know, have, so basically it has a, in this case, it's a glue-on cord end with a, that has a loop, so I've attached a charm to it. And then, you know, my beads actually cover that up, so what sticks out is the loop, and I've just got, you know, a few beads at the bottom of each dangle. And it's a, you know, just a fun design. And like I said, that, gosh, several years ago, that was a Candy Cooper design. I think she's made them since then, but, you know, I like it. It's just kind of subtle. It hangs there. And like I said, I can adjust the length. You know, you want it low enough that you can put it over your head, but you can adjust it once it's on. So we're going to make something similar to that today. So, all right. So that's your introduction to bolos. But just a reminder, the cactus kits are on sale. Everybody who had a paid order, they were shipped out yesterday. So you will probably be getting them early next week. So remember, we have our big saguaro cactus. We've got our prickly pear with all the sparkles and the blooms. I love these pink blooms. And we've got our little barrel guy. And we also, if you're interested, I have a bag of crystals. So these are the same crystals. Well, these are the crystals I had to special order for the kits. So it doesn't include every crystal that's in here. But there's actually more crystals in this bag. I did not include the smallest crystals or the crystal hearts because I did not special order those. And if you follow Stars Beads and shop at Beadoria, you can buy the well, you can buy the hearts. You may be able to buy the small ones. I'm still going around and around because they sent me the wrong color, but they sent me something that was the right color too. So I'm not sure if you order it, which color you're going to get. But anyways, you'll get everything, all the crystals in here. So, and you're going to get more crystals that are on here. So this is another bead mix available for $12. All right, that's all my sales stuff for today. I'm going to move at least this square out of the way because he loves to fall over when I'm doing my show, and then I find it very distracting because I have to pick him up. So let's flip the camera over and get working on our design here today. So let's see. I don't think I'm working with real small stuff today, so hopefully that'll be zoomed enough. So I am going to use leather like I did in my with my bunny bead there, but I'm using a 2 millimeter leather for my chain. Okay, so remember we're doing that. So then for gunmetal, I have both my head pins are gunmetal and my cord ends for the leather. So these are crimp cord ends, and they just slide right on, and then you crimp them. You don't even have to glue them, but I just happen to have them in gunmetal, so funny how that works out, right? So that's our gunmetal and our head pins. Burgundy, again, burgundy is always a kind of hassle. It's a lovely color. You know, it always comes out in the fall in clothing, and I love burgundy, but you don't actually find a whole lot of burgundy beads. But I happen to have these ceramic ones that I don't know if they were part of a kit or if they're from those kuzu beads. I forget those ceramic ones. Because, you know, I bought them back when I was not good at keeping track of where I got things. I've also got a couple of beads. These are from the, I think the magenta mix that Stars Beads and Bedoria put out a while back. I don't know if you can still order that or not, but we're going to use those. So that takes care of our burgundy. And then we have our chili pepper design. So, you know, as far as chili peppers go, you think of red and green, and we did our chili pepper necklace. But I pulled out some of my other smaller, and I realize now that I have two sizes, but it's okay, of chili pepper charms. Thought I had pulled two of the same size, but apparently not. And then I've got a couple of cactus charms just because I thought that might be fun. Now I'm going to use one of these slide, you know, with the rubber lined sliders. Like I said, they're great for this style necklace. I kind of call these a clasp. You can decide oh, there really is. But this is a really big one. So this is a slider for, you know, those large Pandora style things. So that's why I'm using 2mm leather. I'm actually going to use 2 pieces because I'm going to double it up because I can get all that through this bead. So, and then I just have a couple other things just thrown in because I was trying to come up with other colors. Oh, so, you know, this being a bolo style, to me that says there has to be some sort of a, you know, a centerpiece, right? Or a pendant to your necklace. So I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I pulled out these beads. If you bought our challenge bead set, you've got some of these. They might have been in the green color. I want to say I put some, you know, different bags have different colors in them, so this may be what you got, but we're going to use these blue ones because I don't know why I went with the turquoise other than, you know, I love turquoise. And my 2mm leather, I wanted to use this silver and this kind of turquoisey weather. So these 3 beads are pretty much going to be my big centerpiece to my necklace, right? So you need something a little big. So even on this one, you know, because this is sort of dainty, I used something a little more dainty, but it still has, you know, some sort of focal, that center focal. So that's what we're using those beads for. So, you know, if you think about it, the reason I was having a little trouble with trying to figure out how I was going to use the head pins was because I had already decided I wanted to put charms on the end. And there's really no other place that you hook something on, but we're going to create little charms with our head pins and also put those on the end because I have 4 ends now to decide if I want to, you know, put those together so that it looks like there's only 2, but we'll deal with that later. I cut 2 pieces of leather. Hey Marianica, I did not measure this, but I can. I just measured it around my neck to the length that I thought I wanted it. So, and a little longer just in case I need to cut it off. So it's a little over 3 feet. It's like 3 feet 3 inches. Okay, so 39 inches of leather. Okay, just for reference. So, you know, a yard of leather probably would be fine for most necklaces. And like I said, I left a little extra just in case I need to cut something off. So, All right, so let's think about, so when you're doing this type style of necklace, right, you have to do the focal part first and the ends later, okay? So I thought I might try to put some beads above my focal. So I was going, unfortunately these burgundy beads, you can only fit one piece of leather through. And I guess I could swap it, but I'll probably do the same thing on both sides, at least for this. All right. And then I thought I might throw on these other ceramic beads. And again, I'm not sure where these came from. I think they were in, I may have bought a whole bag of them, quite honestly, but if not, they might have been in a Softflex kit of some sorts, but I cannot swear to it because I seem to have a bag of ceramic beads, but in which case I probably bought them, they are probably from T-Beads, same place I bought that bunny bead. She sells a variety of things. She's a glass artisan, but she also sells a lot of stuff for ceramic, and she picks out some cool stuff and makes it available. She has both a website and a I am going to have to trim this leather because I think it's a little off, so I'm going to trim it at an angle and see if I can make these go through a little better. Alright. So we're having a nice cloudy day here in Tucson, so we're hoping that we'll get some rain out of it. I think it's actually still below 100 today. So. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this bead, but I really think it's just my leather is not cooperating. Because this hole is going to be kind of tight, I'm trying to put them through at the same time as opposed to trying to get one through and then the other. Sometimes just getting it started is the problem. Alright, so I'm just kind of twisting to see if it'll come out the other side. This is another reason why, I put a little extra on, because, if I mess up this leather trying to get it through these beads, I can trim it. So we're almost there. Yay. I find with, leather and some of these other things, sometimes twisting it does help get it through your bead, but you also have to kind of push it at the same time you're twisting it. Yay, it's sticking out. Almost there. Well, the good thing is it's not going to fall off. Now that it's far enough out, I can grab. Yeah, almost there. There we go. Now it's far enough out that I can. All right. Apparently I can't grab it with that. All right, so now we've got it going. And see, I'm gonna have to cut that off, huh? So let me move this back out of the way. All right, now let's look at our design here. Guess I didn't straighten my beads or my cords were knotted up, so let me, this one that went on easily, we are going to pull it off and straighten these out. So lesson learned here. Straighten your cords out and make sure they're not in a knot before you put your beads on. All right, so our one end, we've got those, and then we're going to smooth this. We've got the other one here, and now I can put this bead with the nice large hole through it back on here. All right. Phew. Almost messed that one up, so lesson learned. Keep those cords together. All right. So I don't know, it kind of looks, might look a little funky. We'll see. I don't know that I wanted to put something, I don't have something else to put on the other bead, but let's put these bigger beads on and we'll see how it looks. So these have really big holes in them, so we are just gonna put all 4 pieces of leather through here. So when okay, Lorraine, thanks for joining me. So I was, you know, I didn't really lay this out and see what I thought of it. I'm not sure I love those burgundy beads up here. Now, the good thing is I could put the burgundy beads down below. Question is, do I have... I don't know if I have anything that, any ideas? All right. Yeah, I'm not loving the fact that it only goes on one. Now, I could put just one bead on the other one. Maybe that would help. All right, so we're going to take off the easy one. And let's put this on here, see what it, you know, that might, I think that helps. All right, we'll do that. I knew I had these out here for a reason. This one's got a little burr in it, so let me get my bead reamer out. I think these are wooden beads there. Actually, I'm upcycling them, so. Alright, now make sure my cords aren't tickled. Alright, and put this bead back on, which will hopefully be for the last time. One down here, one down here. I think that makes it a little more interesting. Alright. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, I'm going to push this bead up just a little more. All right, the next thing we need to do is put our kind of focally large beads on here. We'll see how this works out. We're going with it, so. All right, so when I have these together, it's going to look something like this. So lots of different beads there. I think it'll be different, but interesting, right? All right, so the next thing I need to do is put the rubber bead that's going to allow us to adjust this. So I am going to, and I've showed this before, so using a small crochet hook or knitting needle, really a knitting needle, although this is, I think this is a darning one, but you take the rubber out of the bead. Hey Janelda, thanks for joining me. Are you still on the road, or did you get to your destination? We are designing this bolo style necklace, and we're designing it as we go because I didn't like what came out. So right now I'm trying to put on my stop bead. So I think the official name of these things is a stop bead, but it can also be called a sliding clasp. So you'll see I put the rubber on all 4 pieces there. Okay, so you're there. That's great. hope you have a great time and a great show. So hopefully my 4 pieces of leather will fit through here. They should. It's going to be tight, but I want it tight. Okay, so I may have to use this to push that last piece through. There we go. All right, so see, all 4 pieces fit through there, but you know, it's a little snug, but not so snug. They don't move. And I'm not concerned that my things are different lengths. So now I'm going to slide it up next to the rubber piece that I took out, and I am going to shove that rubber piece back in. So this is a super easy way to get these onto, you know, cords, get these kind of stop beads on here. You know, obviously if you're working with, I don't know if you can do it if you have one of those double hold ones like I showed you earlier. That might not work as well. And sometimes it is hard, especially if you've got a lot of material going through your bead like we do here. Really having to shove that in. And make sure whatever you're using to push the rubber in, you know, you want it to have a point, but not, you know, not like a needle, because you don't want to, you don't want to accidentally cut the silicone. Yeah, it's really tight getting this in here. Oh no. I hate it when I forget something. So is your theme the Day of the Dead, or did it say to use skulls in your design? I'm sorry, this isn't fun to watch, but I'm just pushing the silicone ring back into the bead. And like I said, it's kind of tight, so. But that's good, because that means it'll hold, right? You don't want it too loose. That's why I decided to go with double up my leather on this. All right, come on, go. This thing is not cooperating. We're almost there though. All right. Come on. So, well, this is, like I said, easier on some things. Stuffing this back in isn't always easy, but stuffing the wires or the leather through without pulling it out isn't an easy task either. So. All right, I swear we're almost there. Oh, that's right. I actually have a Day of the Dead mask holder I made, which could certainly be converted into a sunglasses holder. All right, I hope I'm not putting a hole in my silicone ring here. I'm going to try just pushing with my fingers here. Yeah, one little section still sticking out. Oh, there we go. Yay. Oof. All right. Hopefully. All right. Well, the good news is it's going to hold my my beads just fine. I didn't I did not pay attention to what order I put those that leather in either, which not sure how easily I can fix that. Here, let me pull this down. Let's see if I can twist those. If I can flop those two. So see, that was another there we go. All right, now let's see if the I can't tell. Oh, I have them crossed, but I think actually if I just pull this through, that will fix that. All right, so something else to pay attention to, but we fixed it. All right, so let's take a look here now at what we got here. And so we've got our doubled wire, and we've got some beads on here, and then we've got these beads. Pull that one down a little. Said it's going to be kind of a funky design. But so lots of chunky chunkiness going on there. All right, so now we're going to put ends on our wires, but let me try this on real quick, make sure, you know, where I want the length of these, of everything, because it needs to be able to fit over your head. I'm gonna try to straighten it a little. Yeah, you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I am just adjusting it so that all these wires are the same length and it's good. So I think we're pretty good. So I am just going to trim these. You know, we had those couple that got kind of messed up. And you know, honestly, they don't have to be the same length. That can actually add to the artistry of your design, right? All right, so I've trimmed all those. I think I'm happy with them. So now we're going to take these 2mm crimp ends. And you do have to kind of make sure, since this is 2mm leather, it's a tight fit. Okay, so you may have to trim your wire at an angle to get these to go on. This silver wire I have definitely has a thicker coating on it than my my teal wire here. All right, and then when you put these little crimp ends on, you want to get the leather to come right up to the edge there. You may not be able to see it, but I can. So then I'm going to face it with the flat, you know, the ring, and I am going to take my either chain nose pliers, or these are like needle nose, flat nose pliers, and I am just going to squeeze that middle in. You don't even need glue with these. So, all right, so we've got 4 more to do. That one, some extra wire sticking out, or leather off the edges. So, like I said, this teal wire is, or leather is a little wire on the brain. Not quite as thick as the silver. So again, I'm going to push that in until I can just see the leather there. And then I'm going to squeeze down from one side and squeeze down from the other side. And this is kind of like working with crimps on your beading wire. You know, you don't want to over squeeze. You want it to be tight, but you don't want to crush either. So, again, you know, I'm twisting it just because it helps until I see the leather sticking up there. And we're crush. I don't know what that that was not good. Sounded like something flew off. Where did I? I forgot which one I was doing. All right, one more. Yay. Just kind of a little bit of leather sticking out there. And like I said, this one kind of goes right on. All right, so now we have ends on here and we can decorate them. So as part of our design, we had to use head pins. So I'm going to make two little kind of charms. And then we definitely have to put our chili peppers on. And then we'll see if we want to use our cactus or not. So I thought I'd use, these are, I love these beads and I wish they still sold them, but they're vintage and it's a turquoise colored glass, but they're curved and they make just really cool designs with something. So again, we're embracing our burgundy here. And I am just going to make this, use a wrapped loop. You know, if you want to use a simple loop, you could do that. Especially if you have one of those loop makers. And I have to say these are definitely steel head pins. They are very stiff. And I don't think it matters which ends I put them on. The question is whether or not I'm going to be able to wrap that because, like I said, it's very stiff. I tried using these head pins one other time and they were so stiff I got a little frustrated, but you know, since we only have to do two of them, I think we'll manage. But I didn't, this is not going to be a nice tight loop, so I may have to redo it. And it definitely requires help from the pliers, but all right, since I put that one on silver, you know, I should maybe probably put them both on silver so I know they're not on the same side if I adjust one side. That other. There we go. So Janelle, then when does the show actually start tomorrow? I'm gonna try to do this one a little closer in. Just don't want to break my beads. So remember, we do the 90 degrees, then we put our round nose on here. And we wrap those. And then, like I said, I think I'll put it on the other silver one, so if I adjust the lengths, you know, the whole side to one length. Oh, okay. So you can relax in Huntsville today, huh? But it's a little humid there. I think I'm actually going to switch which pliers I'm using so I can get in there. I haven't been to Huntsville in many years. I used to know some decent restaurants and things to do, but it's been a long time. And I'm just using my pliers to try to tuck this. All right, I think we got it. That one was a little better. All right, so now we've got 2 dangles, and at a minimum I need to put my chili pepper charms on those other 2. All right, I'm running over today, guys, but I started a little late and the stuff was fighting with me, so we're just gonna open our jump ring. Remember, we twist, put that back on there. All right, there's one. And let's put our other one on, and then, like I said, let's see if we need the other charm or not. All right. So we ended up with like 4 dangles instead of 2. I think those chili peppers are kind of small. I was debating adding a second charm on there, and I can actually add it on. It doesn't need its own ring necessarily, although I may want to, if I think I'm going to be pulling on these, I probably want to double up my rings, so I'm just going to put a little cactus charm on here. What I should have done was gotten out more chili pepper charms, but so if you ever want to double up rings, which is helpful in case you're afraid it's going to open up, what I do is put one on and then I do the other one. I don't try to do them at the same time because it's harder to get them, and it can be hard depending on which way you opened your ring. See, like in this case, I need to flip it over because it was on the wrong side. So, but now that I have 2, it's less likely to come open if it gets yanked. All right, so let's do that last one and then we are done. Yay. So let's open this guy. And again, if you have trouble seeing the openings, that's a good thing when it's closed, that you have trouble seeing the openings. But if you're trying to figure out where it is, I find that running my fingernail across it helps me find it. And then we are, like I said, I'm going to put a second ring through everything just to make it a little more secure. Like I said, I have two different kinds of chili charms here. That one has a smaller hole, but we'll make it work. And then, like I said, you just kind of close it by moving it back and forth a little bit, tightening it up. Just a gentle motion and a gentle push towards each other. All right, so, all right, now we've finished this crazy thing, whatever, whatever this thing is. But I used all my beads. All right, moving everything out of the way. I'm going to take off the other necklaces I had on, and we will put this one on. So just a reminder, so we've got our bolo style, we've got dangles, we've got something that moves up and down as our sort of our pendant, and then we've got our burgundy that we had to use, and we've got our chili pepper charms. So I'm going to put this on, and then we'll flip the camera and we'll look at it on. All right, flip the camera, and here's the top part. Like I said, it's a little wacky because I used the two strands, but you know, it's kind of chunky and fun. And then on the bottom, we've got our charms, and you know, we can make this longer if we want. Like I said, these, you guys all saw me with struggling to get that one bead on. It's a little tight, so the one side is tight, but you can adjust that length however you want. So, all right, there's our crazy first try at a bolo necklace. Designed by Chili Peppers. So I don't think I have any more chili pepper cards, because you know I had the New Mexico card already, but so it'll be a while before we see those again. Oh, thank you, Lorraine. Yeah, I made sure I at least wore a plain colored shirt today so that you guys could see things when I showed them, because I know sometimes my clothes are a little busy. And today I wanted my jewelry to be busy. Okay. All right. That is our project for the day. If you're new to us, please like and follow Desert Cat Creations on Facebook, Instagram, and follow or subscribe to us on YouTube. If you could, that would be great. All the videos are transferred to YouTube, so after 30 days, they are no longer available on Facebook. So if you want to see something that's older, you'll have to look over there. I am still working to schedule the make-along for the cactus kits. It'll be multiple make-alongs, and I'm not sure which one we're going to do with Kay, but if you haven't already gotten your orders, get your orders in. All paid orders are in the mail, and we will work on getting those orders out to you guys as quickly as possible. And like I said, maybe we'll I don't know, we may do this guy first on one of our shows. None of them are complicated, so if you're thinking you might want to buy a kit for somebody who's not real experienced. I will say, this one, although it doesn't look as complicated, might be the most complicated, and part of that is just getting it to balance, and you have to do more wrapping to make him sturdy, right? Whereas this one is super easy, especially if you own a bunch of 3-inch head pins. Then you don't even have to pull out your wire. You can just pull out those head pins and put it together. And then this guy, once you've decided your layout for him, because you can put these beads in any kind of order you want, then it becomes fairly simple to put him together. But anyways, that's my my take on how difficult they are. But you know, I think they're definitely easier than the peacock, but not quite as easy as bunnies. So those of you that have been making my kits for a while, that's where we're at. All right. I should be on my regular time on Thursday, or on Sunday. Today is Thursday, right? I don't want to jump all the way to next Thursday, but next Thursday should be fine too. So we'll be on at noon on Sunday. We will draw for our week 33 project, and who knows what we're going to make for our special bonus project on Sunday, but we will do something, which, you know, I'll probably decide on Saturday night because, you know, that's how it goes around here. So anyways, thanks again for all your support, and I will see you all on Sunday or on the replay. So have a great week or weekend, and I hope you get a chance to be creative and do some beading. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.